Welcome back, everybody. I'm Angry Ice Cube, and once again we got a little special video. We're doing a little Ultima 6 action today. So, before I get started, since we're not starting with Ultima 1, I might as well give you a little background story. Okay, so you're this like really badass hero from Earth who gets transported to another world. Let's call that world Britannia because, well, that's what it's called. This little introduction here. First off, the screen's a little weird because of the way my broadcasting, or not broadcast, open source broadcaster, or is it open broadcaster source? Whatever it's called, my recording software does not like full screen programs. And Ultima 6 here, I'm using a special emulator for it. It's an old game. Back from the early 90s on the PC, so it has a tiny little window like what you see there. Notice how it's all black in the background because I've stretched the game window. If I could full screen it, then it would be a full screen game and everything would be cool, but I can only do that through the emulator. But unfortunately, I can't, so that's why the screen's all weird. I don't really know how to fix it. You have to fiddle with the configuration files, and there aren't really a whole lot of options for the configuration files, so just bear with it. Anyways, the introduction here is talking about what happened in Ultima 5. It's been 5 seasons, so a little over a year has passed since my triumphant homecoming from Britannia. Now remember, I am a hero from Earth, as indicated by Here I Am. And apparently, I am quick to replace stuff because at the end of Ultima 5, the big shocker was you came back to your house and the door was wide open and all your stuff was gone. Because while you were out saving another world, someone broke into your house and stole everything. But here I am sitting in my living room watching TV, and I got cool stuff. I got a nice little centaur. I think she's supposed to be a pole dancer. I remember there was some controversy about the raciness of that picture. I mean, really you guys are upset about racy pixel art? Okay. But yeah, so he's flipping through the channels. Kind of reminds me of my dad. He does that all the time. All right, anyways, let's get started. First off, I should say that you have to create a character. You ask if you've ever played Elder Scrolls, the first one. They don't do it anymore, but in the first couple ones, they would ask you questions. Like this happens, so do you blah or do you blah or do you blah? And the answers that you give will help determine your character. Well, they got that from Ultima. They even admitted that they based that whole thing off of Ultima, which that's cool. Plagiarism, flattery, all that stuff, whatever. Anyways, I already have the answers down because I asked one of my guildies from my EQ stuff. I was like, dude, I'm going to ask you because I can't ask my loyal watchers because most of them don't comment. So if I did, I'd have to stop the video as soon as we got to the character screen and be like, okay, going to have to ask you some questions. Give me some answers and we can do like a majority vote and you guys can determine what my character is going to be. Now, it's not going to be the same as it was in Ultima 4. In Ultima 4, when you answered the questions, it determined your character class. But in Ultima 5 and Ultima 6, your character class is the avatar, so it's going to determine your stats. So, that being said, we've already got the answers. We're going to be Kiko. We're going to be playing as Kiko, although I probably won't call him Kiko because Kiko's an Ixar and this guy is quite clearly not an Ixar. Anyways, upon your world, 5 seasons have passed since your triumphant homecoming from Britannia. You have traded the Avatar's life of peril and adventure for the lonely serenity of a world at peace. Yeah. But television supermen cannot take the place of friends who died at your side. Outside, a chill wind rises. That's the box of Ultima 5 there, that portrait. That's me protecting Shimino from the evil Shadow Lords. That's a pizza box, probably Domino's pizza. That's a power outlet. Those are some light switches, and through the window you can probably see a little circle of stones where the chill wind is rising. See, look at the clouds rushing in, and in moments the storm is upon you. Just pretend you're watching a 70s sci-fi show with some of those cool special effects they got. Tongues of lightning lash the sky, conducting an unceasing crescendo of thunder. In a cataclysm of sound and light, a bolt of searing blue fire strikes the earth. Spoilers, lightning's not actually fire. Lightning among the stones! Is this a sign from distant Britannia? Pan over to the door. Nice slow-mo effects there. You bolt from your house, stumbling, running blind in the storm, into the forest, down the path, through the rain, to the stones. We're going to the stones here. Near the stones, the smell of damp, blasted earth hangs in the air. In a frozen moment of lightning-struck daylight, you glimpse a tiny obsidian stone in the midst of the circle. Now he's going to pick it up. Wondering, you pick it up. See, that's the stone. Now, another thing. Back in the old days, you didn't have to spend like $150 on the collector's editions to get cool extra stuff. They just came with it. I mean, I can't speak for all games, but any Origin Systems game I bought always came with cool stuff. Like Ultima 1 came with the Coins of the Realm. There's a nice little felt pouch. Open it up, and there was like these little, well, facsimiles of coinage. There was a gold coin for the crown. There was a silver coin for the whatever. There was some copper coins. It was awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. They weren't like actual metal. They were just plastic, but it was still awesome. Ultima 6 came with a moonstone like that one. However, for the most part, they were clear or white. It's been years since I saw one. I can't remember if I think they were kind of a clearish white, like kind of a quartzy type of stone. But there were 10 boxes that came with a runestone. If you were one of the lucky 10 that got that, all you had to do was send in to Origin, let them know that you got the thing. You sent in some stuff and all that, and send them a picture, because your picture would be one of the NPCs from Ultima 7. This is Ultima 6, by the way. Also, there were, I think, 100 boxes of Ultima 6 that came with the black one. I was one of those. I never sent it in. At the time, I thought that you had to send in the orb. It was only a couple years ago I found out that you didn't actually need to send in the orb. But I felt it was cooler to have the orb rather than a chance. Of the 100, 10 would be chosen. And as I recall, only around 80 submissions were actually received. So of the remaining 20 mystery people, Angry Ice Cube is one of them. Origin, here I am. Oh wait, you're gone now because EA destroyed you. But anyways, yeah, one of them. Sorry guys, I just thought the thing was cooler. I like that little stone. Anyways. From the heart of the stones, a softly glowing door ascends in silence. Exultant memories wash over you as you clutch the stone. He's not actually clutching the stone, he's just kind of holding it there. When last you saw an orb such as this, it was cast down by Lord British to banish the tyrant Blackthorn. Lord British is the king of Britannia. He's a pretty chill dude. Well, actually, he's a pretty kill dude too, because everyone's always trying to kill him because he's invincible. But it is possible to kill him through various glitches and whatnot. In fact, I accidentally killed him in Ultima 6 once because he's invincible, he can't take damage, but he goes to sleep at night. He also heals you for free, and so I would routinely make use of that by porting in and then being all like, oh, he's asleep. I had a cannon set up in his bedroom. Yes, I had a cannon set up in the king's bedroom just for this purpose. I would fire the cannon and wake him up, and he'd heal me. Well, one night, I woke him up and he wouldn't heal me. He wouldn't even respond to me, and that's when I realized that I had somehow killed Lord British. So for the rest of the game, I carried him around in a chest in my backpack because I killed Lord British. So it was pretty cool. Anyways, and Blackthorn, he was the tyrant in 5, but he wasn't really a tyrant, but yeah, it's a long story. It was kind of a failure of Ultima 9. Here is where I'm going to make a stand for Ultima fans everywhere and say, screw you OSI, the Blackthorn in 9 was not the same Blackthorn as 5, because that Blackthorn redeemed himself in 7 Part 2. So screw you. Screw you, alright? Yeah, it's a bone of contention between the fans and OSI. Ultima 9 was kind of like not so much a slap in the face as like a 2x4 to the crotch. But anyways, back to the story. But your joy soon gives way to apprehension. The gate to Britannia has always been blue as the morning sky. Abruptly, the portal quivers and begins to sink into the ground. Its crimson light wanes. Desperation makes the decision an easy one. Obviously, the hero kind of wants to go back to Britannia because Earth is boring poo-poo. That was me running into the gate. Boo! Boo! Alright, title screen. So here's where we make a new character, and I'm going to apologize now. There's actually more to the intro, but for reasons that I don't quite understand, it's been skipping it. I don't have it set to skip. I have, skip intro set to no, but for some reason the part that's going to come after I make the character doesn't come. I mean, it might come, I don't know, but if it doesn't, that's why. The reason being, I don't know. So let's create a character. Let's create a character. Alright, well, like I said, Kiko's already answered all the questions for me, so at least we have that part taken care of, but we need a name. Let's call this guy... I'll call him Hero. Hero! Male, because Kiko is, well, I mean, there's some debate on this, but Kiko is supposedly male. Oh yeah, that's right, I said that, Kiko. What you gonna do about it? Alright, so here are all the different character portraits you can have. Canonically, this is, I guess, the actual portrait, because that's what they use for Ultima 9, but they also took character customization completely out, so screw you, Ultima 9. But anyways, you can be male or female. Let's go through the male portraits. There's not that many. There's like 5, I think. There's this blonde guy, this guy, which is what we're probably going to go with. This guy. See, they even had black people in it. Ultima was awesome. Then there's this dude. Kind of gives me a wizardy feel. I don't know why. Then there's this dude. Kind of reminds me of the Ultima 5 dude. I don't know why. It just reminds me of the Ultima 5 dude. And then there's this dwarf dude. Used to have different races that you could be too, or I should say species. There was like, let's see, there were bobbits, there were fuzzies, there were elves, all sorts of cool stuff back in Ultima 3. But they eventually got rid of that because when it started, the first 3 games were kind of like Richard Garriott teaching himself how to program, so they were a story only by like coincidence. They just kind of had one, and then he made another trilogy as he was, advancing in his programming. Trying new stuff, and then suddenly, hey, you know what, let's tie this thing into a story. So that's why there's some huge discrepancies, like I'm from Earth but I'm a fuzzy. What the hell is a fuzzy? I'm a fuzzy. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Come on. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Yeah, that sort of thing. So yeah, next let's go to the females. There's this little samurai person. Then you got her. For some reason she makes me think of like Native American. I don't know why. Maybe it's the headband. I don't know. Then there's her. She's got a whole lot of hair going on. Then there's her. She's got some blonde hair that you can probably just barely see right here. See down there? She's some type of Nordic person, I guess. She's got a little helmet on and stuff. And then there's her. I like this one too. I like this one. I don't know. There's something about that portrait that I've always liked. Wish you could change the hair color. And her I don't like so much because her hair makes me think of plastic for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But, oops, wrong button. So we want, we want new sex, and we want that guy. All right, continue. Now we get to answer the questions, the best part. This is all in the past, all right? One day I took a walk, and this is what happened. Welcome, O Seeker. And there's this little wagon there. A lonely stroll along an unfamiliar forest path brings you upon a curious gypsy wagon, its exotic colors dappled in the summer shade. Which makes me wonder, is this what the wagons in the Wheel of Time look like for the Tinkers? I don't know. A woman's voice rings out with friendship, beckoning you into across the wagon's threshold and, as it happens, into another life. Beckoning you into across the wagon's threshold and. That is just an awkward sentence, but let's ignore that. Alright, so now we're going to take a test. We're going to make a delicious beverage and we're going to drink it. At last thou hast come to fulfill thy destiny, the gypsy says. She smiles, as if in great relief. Sit before me now, and I shall pour the light of virtue into the shadows of thy future. Oh, that's poetic. Each one of those colors, as you can see, represents a virtue. On a wooden table, 8 bottles stand, a rainbow of bubbling liquids. Correction, there are 9 bottles, 1 is empty. Behold the virtues of the Avatar, the woman says. Let us begin the casting. Alright, let's check this out. Thy friend doth seek admittance to thy spiritual order. Thou art asked to vouch for his purity of spirit, of which thou art uncertain. Dost thou, A, honestly express thy doubt, or B, vouch for him, hoping for his spiritual improvement? Well, like I said, I asked Kiko in advance. I read him the questions, so I know his answers. And the ones that weren't included on the questions because they forgot to list them, I can kind of guess at. spiritual. Vouch. During battle, thou art ordered to guard thy commander's empty tent. The battle goes poorly, and thou dost yearn to aid thy fellows. Dost thou A, valiantly enter the battle, knowing thou canst decline, fuck it. Or B, honor thy post as guard. And he said he would enter the battle, so let's get some cherry flavor. Vanilla cherry. Thee and thy friends have been routed and ordered to retreat. In defiance of thy orders, dost thou A, stop in compassion to aid a wounded comrade, or B, sacrifice thyself to slow the pursuing enemies so that others might escape? B, sacrifice. He's going to go Boromir on their ass. I support his decision. Unwitnessed, thou hast slain a mighty dragon in defense of thy life. A poor warrior claims the offered reward. Dost thou A, justly step forward to claim the bounty, or B, humbly go about thy life secure in thy self-esteem? Well, Kiko has never been secure in his self-esteem because I rip on him regularly. A day goes by that I don't rip on him, probably is the last day that the earth will exist. So we're going to justly step forward. So let's add some blueberry. Oh, not blueberry. Why did I say blueberry? Probably because I saw the blue at the side. We're going to add some, I don't know, it's green. What would green be? Sour apple? Sour apple. So we got cherry, vanilla, sour apple. This is going to be tasty. Alright, during a pitched battle, thou dost see a fellow desert his post, endangering many. As he flees, he is set upon by several enemies. Dost thou A, justly let him fight alone, or B, risk the sacrifice of thine own life to aid him? Well, I'm pretty sure that he would let him get what he deserved, because, you know, like I said, I asked him a whole bunch of questions. So, sour apples. A local bully pushes for a fight. Dost thou A, valiantly trounce the rogue? I've always loved that line. Valiantly trounce the rogue. Or B, decline, knowing in thy spirit that no lasting good will come of it? Well, we know the answer to that one is more cherry flavor. So now it comes down to cherry, sour apple. So we're having a throwdown. That's what this is all about. This is all about the virtues having a throwdown. You're going to, you know, 8 virtues enter, 1 virtue leaves, that sort of thing. Thou hast been sent to secure a needed treaty with a distant lord. Thy host is agreeable to thy proposal, but insults thy country at dinner. Dost thou A, valiantly bear the slurs, or B, justly rise and demand an apology? Uh-oh, this was not one of the questions. And none of the other questions came even, remotely close. So I'm just going to have to kind of go with my gut feeling. I really hate these hiccups. Not as much as you guys might hate them, but not as much as I do. I really hate these hiccups. I have these every single day because my lung capacity's been is lessened because my fluid retention. Got some kidney issues, in case you're wondering what's wrong with me. So yeah. Anyhow, I'm gonna have to go with my gut on this one. And knowing Kiko, yeah. Valiantly bear the slurs, because I mean, come on, I rip on him all the time. He don't do nothing to me. Then again, I'm bigger than he is, and I'd sit on him. So, yeah, our character is complete. The path of the Avatar lies beneath thy feet, worthy hero. The gypsy intones. With a mysterious smile, it's poison. She passes you the flask of shimmering liquids. Drink of these waters and go forth among our people, who shall receive thee in joy. Yeah, it's not a cult at all. It's gonna be tasty. It's going to be tasty. Vanilla, sour, apple, cherry. As you drink from the flask, vertigo overwhelms you. A soothing mist obscures the gypsy's face, and you sink without fear into an untroubled sleep. Okay, now this is the part where the intro generally gets skipped. Right after this one. You wake in a different time upon another world's shore. Though the Avatar's quests bring you both triumph and tragedy, never do you stray from the path of the 8 virtues. The sagas of Ultima 4 and Ultima 5 chronicle your perilous travels, and your name and your deeds are written forever among Britannia's legends. Ultima 5, by the way, was badass. That was an awesome game. It's the first one I played. I was just a kid. I was like, I don't know, 7th grade, 6th grade, something like that. It's a long time ago. It took me 2 weeks to go through it. And mind you, since I hadn't played any of the other ones, I had no idea about the virtues and stuff. So when the specter would pop up and either, you know, congratulate me for being awesome or admonish me for being a scum-ass, I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. Just like when I leveled up, I had no idea what the hell that was. It's just like, for your valiant deeds, I would reward you. But sometimes, days would pass before I'd had a valiant deed, so I had no idea what it was about, or origin, and sometimes they gave me very helpful answers, but sometimes they were assholes. Like this one time was like, do you really need me to answer your question? Gee, like, yeah, you feel real big picking on an 11-year-old? Smarty? Hmm? Yeah? Yeah. Alright, finally, tempered by your struggles against the enemies of virtue, you are proven ready to answer the epic challenge of Ultima 6. And at this point, it should just immediately cut to the action. Yeah, see? There's more. I'll just give you a brief rundown before we check my stats, and then we'll save it in the video here. Next time we'll continue. Anyways, okay, so what happened is we went through the red moon gate. Remember, you were kind of a little concerned that it was red, not blue. Well, turns out you probably shouldn't have gone through that moon gate because it was a trap. The gargoyles, see these little red guys here? These are gargoyles. They don't like you for reasons that will eventually become clear, and they sent the moon gate. So when you stepped through, they were waiting for you. They grabbed you, strapped you down to an altar, and then their high priest came up and was reading from this book and chanting in this language that you don't understand. Pulled out a dagger and was about to stab your ass. Well, actually, he was about to stab you in the heart, not your ass, but you know what I mean. And suddenly, another blue gate popped up. And this time, your buddies, Shimino, Dupre, and Yolo, that's Shimino, Dupre, and Yolo. You might remember Shimino, I mentioned him from the Ultima 5 poster, yeah. They stepped through, and they're like, oh, hell no, and they kicked some serious gargoyle ass, cut you free, oh yeah, they killed the priest, grabbed the book, cut you free, and dragged you back through the moon gate. But before it could close, 3 jumped through. And that's where we are now. We are in the throne room of Lord British. See, Lord British? There's a symbol of the avatar on him. It's the Ankh. The Ankh is the symbol of the avatar. See that? He's sitting on an Ankh throne. It's pretty cool. And there's some wizard and fighter next to him. And then we got some braziers right here. Okay? You got some cool stuff on the wall. Now, the graphics are worlds beyond what Ultima 5 had. Ultima 5 was done on the Apple IIe with stick figures, and it was awesome. Graphics do not make the game. Alright, Ultima 5 is still better with its stick figure graphics than a lot of the Final Fantasy crap that gets shoveled out these days. Because at least Ultima 5 has a coherent storyline that makes sense. It doesn't take them 8 hours to introduce the problem that you have to fight. Anyways, there's these little fireplaces, you got your little doors. Also, it's a great little game. So, let's check our hero out here. That would be F10? No, F8. It's been a while since I played. Double click. Not usable. Okay. It's been a while since I played there. F1. Ah, here we go. Okay. Let's look at our stats. This little face icon is your stats. So, due to the questions I answered, I am heavily buffed in the strength department. Stats cap at 30, by the way. I'm fairly dexterous and not so bright. Not so bright. Magic. Okay, let's give you a quick rundown of the stats. Alright, so your strength determines how much damage you do. It also affects how much you can carry. Your dexterity is how well you hit and dodge. Picking locks, that sort of thing. Intelligence, of course, affects your magic. It also affects your spell points. Your spell points are intelligence times 2 for you. It's different for the others. I think their intelligence is directly their spell points. But only certain classes can cast spells. This is a bard. This is a rogue. This is a fighter. Like I said, this is a wizard, mage type person. There's a fighter. Experience. I'm level 3. I have 370 experience. As I recall, it's level. Let's see. I think it's. How does it go again? Is it? I think it's 100 to level 2, 200 to level 3, 400 to level 4, 800 to level 5, 1600. No, that's not. Can't be right because 3200. No, I'm right. 1600 is 6, 3200 is 7, and then 6400 is 8. There's only 8 levels. What else can I say about this real fast? Your level is your health. Level 3, 30 points per level, 90 health. Simple. The little bag with the triangles dropping out of it, that's your inventory screen. See this and me. Check me out. Look how cool. I got a sword. There's my gear that I'm not wearing because I'm not wearing anything. I was strapped down on an altar about to be sacrificed, remember? Put this on though. Behold, now I'm wearing my Ankh. Ankh amulet. That's the avatar thing. This one is your party. See, there's a party. F1 again. This one goes to the next guy, which is Dupre. See, there's Dupre. Let's take a look at him. Ask Dupre. Remember that face, because Dupre's awesome. Also known as the Duper Scooper. I know this guy used to think his name was Duper. You know, Duper right there. It's actually Dupre. But you can call him Duper. So I started calling him the Duper Scooper. Then we got Shamino. Alright. Shamino and Lord British, by the way, are the same person. They're both Richard Garriott. Richard Garriott's the guy who made Ultima. This is his SCA, Society for Creative Anachronism name. He got it from his bike, which was a Shimano bike, but he misread it, so he named himself Shamino. So, Shamino and Lord British. Lord British was his nickname because he was from Britain and he came over here and people called him British. And then D&D stuff, if I remember correctly, they started calling him Lord British. And then, of course, we got Yolo, which is actually his real-life friend, who actually is a musician. He wrote the song Stones. Oh gosh, no, they get half their intelligence rounded down. 16 divided by 2. Ouch. He's a bard. Yellow's cool. He used to be really young. See, this one thing that kind of does make sense in Ultima is the time passage. It kind of doesn't make sense. It is pure fantasy. They didn't even try to fiction it up. They don't. Time flows differently. Like we got like British, who like never seems to age at all until you get into Ultima 9, in which case he's just some. Oh, actually, I think it's Ultima 7 Part 2. Well, one of the later Ultimas, suddenly he goes from like this old guy, probably like in his 40s, to like in his 60s or 70s. It's like that was a abrupt jump. Same with Yolo. Yolo was like this. He was probably in his 40s in Ultima 5 in the intro when he's telling you what has happened since you've last been here, because you always go back to Earth in between the games. And he was, and now this. He went from this. I mean, he went to this from this, because he looked a little bit older than this guy, probably 5 years, 10 years older than this guy. So, anyways, yeah, next time we're gonna whoop some gargoyle ass, and these two losers aren't even gonna help. And it's particularly obnoxious that this guy won't help because he's immortal. He's immortal. You could have got up and slapped those guys. Just saying, King. But whatever. So anyhow. That's right. F10 brings up the party view. So now we will save. Save it right here. Behold. There, we have saved the game. So next time, well, stuff will happen and we'll find out what it is. Peace out, everyone.